basic, sort of a naked bike sort of with all the upgrades. So I can just ride it, test it, tune it, and see what else, because I might need to take the seat off and reach the carburetor. I found out the NCY carburetor would come with a 125 or 128 main jet stock, and then also the jetting would probably be the slow jet, or aka pilot jet, will actually be about 40, the number. So that would be a slow jet number, 40, and 128 or 125 main jet. That's come stock on a 30mm NCY carburetor. So we're probably going to change that to a 42 slow, aka main jet, pilot jet, and change it to a 125 main jet. So that's what we're probably going to do maybe later on. Let's see how the performance goes first. I right now have about 15.5 gram Dr. Pulley sliders in there. I'm using NCY CVT kit. I can't really show it to you right now because it's not open. And we're going to do kind of a bit of more upgrades too on this. So first of all, we're going to get our mounted on our exhaust, because we need to actually, when we start the engine, to get our running light working, we want to test it out to see how bright they are, because we're going to do several kind of testing on different changes. Now, we started out with this one, the original stock, right? You got the halogen. It's sort of a, I think it's a BA20D base type. So that's how it looks like. And it's a, again, 2 element. You can tell because there's 2 soldering points on the bottom of it right there. That means it's supposed to have 2 contacts where your wires are coming from. So it serves as a high beam and a low beam. That's how you can tell these bulbs are made for that. And then we upgrade to the LED one, which is currently on there right now. This is the brand here, and this is the ones on there. You can see there. And they just, what they did was they took the same base and they just added the LED functionality to it. By the way, this is rated at 35 by 35 watt. These ones, they call it luminant. Luminant, what determines how bright a bulb is. Luminant is, this one's rated about maybe a good, I think close to 1200 luminant maybe. Let's see. Yeah, so this luminosity is 1200. Oh, it opens from the top here. There you go. So you can see there, the soldering base is the same as the one in here. So it's a BA20D if you're looking for it. And that's what fits most Chinese driving front lights. There you go, there's the other one here. Okay, and they just put LED in both sides. Now, these are not the best quality LEDs, so the price range wouldn't matter. You're talking about a $5 bulb, and then you're upgrading to a $15 LED setup. And then you get a little bit more advanced. You got the one that actually dissipates and have its own little built-in constant current amplifier. You're talking about these ones right here. They have their own fan and everything. And this comes with, pretty cool, it comes with a different kind of housing you can put here. I believe this might be the same housing we need to actually connect to our scooter. And then it has a lot of other, like the most common ones are H4 housings. Comes with that one, and there's another, the base actually comes with its own housing right now. But look how this LED set up. So these ones are what, $25, and it comes with the fan. They're very nice. And then you got your almost like your premium brand here, your Hikera one. Now these ones, you can see how this comes with its own little mouse sort of amplifier, right? And it comes with the 3 wires. Again, you got ground, and one of these are for pretty much high and low beam. But look how this is like a little, almost like a laptop USB mouse, the way it's set up. But that's how this amplify to keep the current consistent, input voltage. There you go, look at that. Then there's the bulbs, and then you got a spring if you need it. So ours is gonna be pretty much easy access. We just gotta go and reach in there and take out that rubber boot. And from there we have open access to do whatever we want to right here. So we have a good, I'd say about, looks like about 3.5 to about maybe max 4-inch clearance, depending how much the bulbs stick out. And then we're also gonna do something with this one too, is SMD lights. These are probably considered what's called S1. What we're gonna do is we're gonna actually file it in so we can bring it out more. For some reason, look, you can see here on the side, it's not coming all the way out. The reason why is this, that there's a metal that's, you know, this one's coming out more. So, you know, the factory didn't make it perfect enough where they made it big enough for these. You know, these are good quality. These are Sylvan LEDs, so they're gonna last a long time. And they're easy access. I already put some silicone in there, but silicone is great. It's kind of rubberized. You can just peel it off like, you know, a piece of rubber from it. That's to keep it on because it's not able to push all the way. You can see here how it's not flush. So we're gonna take care of that. We got a little Dremel tool from Harbor Freight. But let me go back and show you the Hikera one. So going back to here, all these ones lined up here. It's from where we started. Now we're gonna get started on the exhaust, but I want to give you an idea what we're coming up, what we're gonna do next. So we start with the halogen bulb, then we upgrade to LED. Then we want to see how much more. It already actually broke. It broke prior to it dropping right now. The high beam worked, but the low beam. There's two filaments on this. See there? The first two TP there. It actually lost a piece of wire to it. Probably because I kept dropping it like that. And then you see how this has its own amplifier and it also has a built-in fan, which is kind of cool. So you're looking at $5, and then triple that to $15, and then add another $10 for this one. And then this one costs a lot. This one was more like $89. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you this one real quick. Here we go. This is the Hikera one. This is the one that has like a lot of high reviews, a lot of, in the thousands. People use it a lot, but you can see the quality of it. This one's $89, and you could probably get a good deal, maybe an open box one or something for $75. But you can see here, it's almost like a gunmetal titanium backing of it compared to just a regular plastic. You know what I mean? You get what you pay for, that's for sure. But if you look at this, you know, it has a little rubberized boot that you can roll up. And then when it, you know, this fits a certain way, this really seals well. You know, this fits a certain way, it won't go in unless you get to that right slot. Let's see if I can actually do it and show you. See there? Then you can push down on it once it feels like it's in the right, you know, it has to get in the right groove. And then what you do is you just push this thing and it seals the rubber part. See if this one's already done. Yeah, this one's already done, see? You can push on it more, and once it hits that, it just locks it in. Now you can bring this rubber boot a little higher, and then when you push on it, see how it eats it? And that's what stabilizes it. It's very simple, you know, interlock mechanism with just a rubber band sort of looking. You know, it's like a silicone, but it's nice quality though. You could tell by the feel of it and the weight of it. So, and then it also comes with its own individual amplifier. There's two of them that comes in a set for that price, $89. So you can break it apart, say they're about $45 a piece. So it's not more than this one, just kind of doubles up again on the cost. But you can see their amplifier here. It looks like a real solid audio amplifier. It looks really nice. Comes detachable, almost like a USB sort of, but it's not. It's like a bunch of pins. See if I can take it off with one hand and show you. There we go. Look at that. So we're going to try this out. I'm not sure what these three pins are. I'm assuming one of them's ground, one's the high beam, one's the low beam. Just kind of taking this one. This one might be an easier fit. But unfortunately, the housing that this came with, you can see here, it came with H4 style housing, which is common for motorcycles, but not so common for us scooter people. So what I'm going to do is, even though I can't, I'll try to rob from this one here, because this has its own H4 too, but this also has another adapter here. This comes with several adapters. That's what's kind of nice about this one. But if you look at it, they're almost like a universal standard fit. So I can take the rubber one from here. Okay, and then what I can do is, by the way, this recommended for you to face a certain direction. I would think the wire's flowing down instead of up. So, but they definitely want you to do a 9 to 3 o'clock, meaning, you know how you have 12 o'clock on top and then 6 o'clock on the bottom. So you want to do it this way, where it hits a 3 o'clock angle here and then 9 o'clock angle. The reason why, if you look at these LED, they're not just the regular, you know, standard LEDs that you see on most of these other bulbs, like right here. These are actually real Philips LED. They call this the Eye of Megatron. Can you believe that? I don't know how to get the patent, but what it is designed in Japan, and they're assembled in China. So these are still Japan quality control. So look at that one right there. You can see. So I think if the wires are facing this way or even that way, I think it should be fine. And direction, it doesn't tell you the wires, unfortunately, and they actually, you know, will actually give you different harnesses. It depends if you're having trouble with your, most vehicles sometimes will censor these as not real lights, and they'll trigger, you know, your lights are on or off or missing, or, you know what I mean? So they will give you different harness for them. You just have to respond to them. So, and then here, look at the fan here. It's like a turbo. I can't wait to put this in, and I hope that, I think we have a strong enough battery. Most batteries on scooters are about 9 or 8 amp. This is a 14 amp lithium battery. So it should be able to handle this even with our high torque starter motor. But the stator ones I'm a little concerned about, because we still have a DC 12 pulse stator. But if it can handle, I mean, most cars are 12 volts, and they're also you know, they can handle it. So maybe we can still handle it with enough power going through our battery, and our stator will kick in and recharge the battery. The concern is to make sure that that stator keeps charging the battery when we have so much current being drawn to all these devices. So you can see the quality of it right here. Oh yeah, so I was going to say is I was going to take this housing from the $25 setup here, if this is not any better than this one, and I'm going to try and use this one here, which we're going to see together, and I'm going to go ahead and try to, you know, if you look at it, you can slip the housing on, and it comes in just right, right? And if I'm not mistaken, the housing of this one is actually the same. Let's take a look at it real quick. See, this is the fun part here. This is all the little extras we're going to do. Also going to install a voltmeter here, a digital one. That way it's more accurate than our analog one, and I'll show you that a little bit later. It's very simple to do. I just tapped the same wires, so you can see here I did started it. I tapped the pretty much if your scooter has like one of those, what I call it, a cigarette lighter or charger, you can attach a USB or whatever. You can just tap and get your battery reading right here, so it doesn't have to go far. So your plastic front housing is right here, so easier to tap. We installed our horn and it works beautifully. I'm going to turn on the light just to show you. Whoa, there we go. Just hit that little switch right there for horn. Very loud. That'll definitely see. It'll wake up any little critters out there. Okay. Okay, so now she's gonna probably want to push it. Okay, no, not game. Okay. And then so you can see here the housing right there. This is where we're kind of probably gonna install this. I don't know how it's pronounced, Hikara or something like that. Anyway, it seems like Japanese animation name or some sort. But it's just really nice to feel this. I mean, it looks like quality. It's like my Gibby case. Oh man. Don't want to let go. Just it feels like power right there. It just feels solid. And then you can see that their wiring is very clean. I mean, not just it's heat shrink, but I'll show you the base housing for the amplifier attached to it. It's braided as well. I couldn't believe that. So let's go and take this off. Okay. First of all, you already saw okay, you know that when the engine's on, you know, the running lights this is not coming on, but these two S1 lights will come on. The BA20D lights is not coming on until the engine actually fires up. So let's go and fire up the engine again. We got everything sealed and secured. We don't want to leave our running, draining lights to. Then let's turn our kill switch, hit the switch. Oh no. Oh great. I think our batteries, all right. Maybe our battery shot again. Oh, you know what? We didn't get fuel to the bowl. So let's go and turn the fuel on. Very important, right? The reason why is, remember, again, our bowl was shot. We didn't have any fuel. It was actually that drain bolt caused the problem of it kind of dying prematurely. So here we go. Okay, our battery's still high up there. Hold it. See that? For emergency right there. Shut off our key and we're good. So you can see there, everything's working flawlessly. I'm gonna go ahead and turn back off the oil here. I mean, you don't have to, you can leave it on. It's not gonna do anything overnight actually, but just for good precaution. So we didn't have our battery was good. We just didn't have any fuel going in there. So our carburetor is doing its job. So very excited. I gotta put the exhaust in first, but I want to show you the base of this. So, oh man, it just vibrated off where it just knocked the heck out of the bulbs. Okay, but you can see how bright that one is already. And our halogen one was pretty bright, but you can see here, there's our base one. I'm just gonna turn it. All right, come on. There we go. Oh, by the way, I learned something also about the timing. In my situation, I'm not sure. Maybe the reason why it worked was I had it right on the T. But for actual true timing, you actually want to come here to this mark. Let me show you again. I know I'm kind of jumping everywhere here, but bear with me, okay? I'm excited to share with you whatever I learned new. Okay, so if you spin this around, okay, very hard to spin because the spark plug is still in there. Okay, oh boy, I passed it. I was gonna show you, see where that T is? This is the marking that you actually really want. Not actually T right here, but this T right here on the side of it. Just like if the F had one on the side, but ours doesn't. So, I don't know. That's what I was told. Here we go, let me do it again really slowly. Hopefully it doesn't go spin too fast. You can hear the little compression, right? Like, phew. That's air right there. That's the pistons relieving itself. I'll give you a little explanation how the GY6 engine worked from what I'm observing. Okay, so there we go. So you see how, you see where I'm about to pass? That T right there, let me see if I can level it so you can actually see what I'm seeing. So you can see where the time mark is on the time cover. You can see it's not yet on the T yet, but this is on the T, right? Okay, I was told that this is not your top dead center mark. You can actually see it from your piston. I think they're slightly in the variation. So it might be possibly that I could start my screw with one click versus maybe a couple, you notice that? If my timing was even more perfect. But if you move this right here, I'm gonna move it slowly. See that? I'm gonna move it slowly, but if you move it, too slowly here. But if you move it right there, see? If you move it, if I use my finger, it'll be really covered up. So let me use a flathead screwdriver so it'll be more accurate point. Okay, so if you move that time indicator right here, all the way touching this right here, see that groove? That's where your true timing is, that's what they said. Not where actually what I had before. See, I kind of field gauge the rocker arms to hit the valves right here at this mark right here. When the timing of the stator flywheel is right there at that T. I hit it right there in the center of the T bar, the T, what do you call it, stand, instead of this bar right here below it, right next to it. See that one right there? But there's normally, if you have an F, you also have another bar beside it too. But since there's no bar beside the F, only one in the T mark, that could actually be right here, your real timing mark right here. So if you do it, try it both ways and tell me your experience if you can. If you put the T right here, or you put the T right there, if your ignition starts a little bit better or your timing looks like it's much more accurate. Okay, another tool you can use is like they call it, you know, there's like a really special flywheel tool and stuff like that. I mean, that's a little bit too technical for me. But yeah, we're gonna go ahead and start assembling the exhaust as soon as I cover what I was going to cover on the base. So let's look at the base real quick. First of all, getting it in here is not the biggest deal. Making sure that it actually works with its base on these high, here, let's find out what the name of it. Hikara. Again, it sounds like some the Eye of Megatron. Look at that. So it says right here, designed by Hikara in Japan and assembled in China. They always want to make sure they tell you it's in Japan, that actually design and control it, because they don't want China to believe that, because China is just known for producing fast production stuff, and their QA is not always on par what we want, especially stuff that made in Taiwan compared and then US and Japan. So look at this base right here. This is their base and this is our base. See how their pins are? I mean, it looks like, I'm not sure if this is thick enough where we can actually, like, say for instance, let's say assuming, I don't know, but let's assuming this is ground, the middle one right there, if we can just slide it in here and see how the light reacts. You know what I mean? I'll be curious to know. Or if it burns the wire, who knows what it does. So let's say we put this one in here, right? We just slide it in. No, they're both flathead, but this look a little thinner. I mean, a little thicker. So it might really, yeah, you look at it. Yeah, it's about good, yeah. About 1/10 more bigger than this housing can actually handle. But we'll tap it and we'll see what happens. But this is the housing here, you can see here. It has two little sprockets here on the side that twists in, right? And then you can see the housing in here. See that right there? Now let's take it out. Let's go ahead and look at it. See that right there? You can see it really good now. So getting it in, I'm not too worried about. There's always kinds of ways to fit it in. But first of all, we want to make sure we can tap it and see if it actually functions and works before we actually, you know, splice into our wire harness or even cut it out and put its own. So yeah, you can see here how braid it is. It's just quality. You know, the wire harness right there. and it fits into the, so it has a bunch of connections before it actually bundles in just 3 little contact points. The other one seems like it's very simple, like plug and play almost. You know, it just use bullet connectors, so we can find out. But let's go ahead and look at how the base might even mount on this one. So I'm gonna go ahead and, I feel like Iron Man here, putting his chest piece, which is a really all-time favorite movies of mine, Iron Man 1. So you're a fan of Iron Man, Tony Stark's, Robert Downey Jr. did him justice. Here we go. Oh man, there we go. So, like, there it goes. So this one, see that? Now we can always work around this. We can get a Dremel and be done with it. Find out how to maybe get this to come. See, it can go all the way in, but how would it lock and reflect back? That's gonna be a challenge. Okay, so let's go and get this out. I hope I don't drop it. If I drop it, shoot on me. Okay, so there we go. So this right here is supposed to fit right in, right? But it's not. So their base is unique. I mean, we can go all kinds of ways. We can start looking at this base and modifying it and putting in our bulb somehow and using this contact. So it's not going to be a big deal. Just making sure it works first. We're going to use these 3 wires and tap into its, you know, wiring harness setup, and then we'll see how this one goes. I mean, my goal is to actually get this guy in there. I feel like this is going to be really strong enough where it can actually beam through the door and maybe see my neighbor. But we'll see. We'll see how good this is. But in the meantime, let's install the thing that make our scooter a little bit more drivable, quiet, so we can actually get on the road. We're going to put our license plate on here. You know, the reason I got into the scooter business was actually I needed more cheaper transportation, the means of delivering our, we do donuts as well. So here we go. This is our delivery bag setup, and we have it Velcro here. This one's actually fits perfectly for the seating area where we can actually carry the drinks. I'll show you how this will fit. There you go. So that's our other company here, D&T Pro. So normally there's a cover back bottom here, of course, and the battery's covered up too as well. But we can carry our drinks in here. We put little spacers here so actually drink doesn't spill. So we can actually carry almost 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 different drinks. You know, a couple of, you know, Starbucks, a couple of coffee, chocolate latte or whatever. Sealed it up and we're good. It's not going to get any fumes from the gas or anything because it's pretty much sealed up. So that's what we normally would have put in there. And it means of trying to find transportation, the scooter kept breaking down. So I figured, you know what? I'm getting these parts anyway. Let me find out a way that I can actually get these parts in one website. And that's why we came up with the idea, NCY store. So it started from one business and led to another business. So here you go. This is actually our delivery bag. Keeps everything nice and hot or cold or whatever. But where I was going to say again? Oh, yeah. We're going to pretty much find out how we're going to go ahead and get the exhaust mounted on there, because the exhaust comes with a special bracket only. And that special bracket does not fit it without some kind of attachment to a swing bar. So here we go. We're going back to the exhaust. It's going to feel the power here. Yeah. And then, yeah, we couldn't get this bolt in there, unfortunately. And this is the bracket it came with. If I did remember, watching back to my video probably, I could probably remember what I was trying to cover, but I guess I missed it, you guys. Sorry. So this must be a silencer. And it came with a little, almost a wannabe NCY gasket. You see the quality of it is not that great. You can see it's already rusting and stuff like that. You know, when you look at NCY quality, you look at something like this, you can compare it. Now this is brand new too, by the way, but still, it'll never show signs of wear like that. So you can see that. This NCY quality is all intact. See? And then you got the one that comes with the exhaust. Unfortunately, it doesn't look very attractive or appealing. Has some rust marks already and everything on there already on the metal. They should use stainless steel at least, you know, support on the center one, but they didn't. See there how bad it is? Yeah. But I believe this might be the little coupler or silencer, I'm not sure. And it comes with, I believe, some other stuff. Let's check it out. This is all coming from the DMZ exhaust setup here. Two brothers, you know, they make theirs too, but you're talking about quadruple the price almost. They're about $400 or $500. There we go. So these are like little bolts. Hey, actually these bolts would have worked for our, now they're a little too bigger, but I think they're more like almost M8 or M10 thread size. These bolts will work actually good for our, well, you might want a little bit more slippery spot because you don't want to wear out your shocks. But yeah, they could have worked out for our lower shocks. Or if anything, I think it will still be the same bolts used for the to hold up the top front shock area, like right here. You can see there, that's the top. So I think these bolts actually will work as a replacement to hold these guys right here on top though. Yeah, they look like they take about maybe M12 socket, a little bit bigger. But anyway, what we're trying to do is see why they gave us they gave us these two pieces here. But unfortunately, going back to these little pieces, fortunately, if you look at it, they're the same size. You figure they give you one bigger, right? Look at that. I put the rubber on afterwards, but it wasn't rubbered on like that. But I kind of did it pretty good. Kind of flushed it here. But you think they would give it to you where it actually was big enough, where it would wrapped up enough to give the tension here. I'm not sure if it's supposed to stretch even more, but then it can screw right here just to help those two poor exhaust studs at the end here not take all the whole of the, even though this is light, but when you have people or things and variations in environment, when you're driving, you vibrate it, it becomes a good dead weight on there. So here we go. I'm gonna go and try to slip this in here without ruining my carbon fiber. Well, when it rains, it builds up moisture and it's not that pretty. Okay, so you can see here it clamps in like this. The rubber helps protect your carbon fiber from getting damaged from the metal steel or stainless steel flex. Okay, and then you come underneath, right? So let's say you come underneath, and then, oh wait, actually, you know what? The bolts are, yeah, they look like they give you long enough. Maybe I am mistaken. Oh no, I'm not, because depending on the angle, this is where it's going to set up. Let's see. Yeah, if I'm squeezing it right now, you can see here, my thumb is almost there. So if they give you long enough, we can just, you know, bolt it right on here like this. You know, but I don't think it's that close to the oil cap because I remember it. So it might be lower. So we need to build maybe extension. So what I did was I went to Home Depot. You know, favorite for hardware, school parts on the fly. And I picked up some of these things right here. These things I think will help. I also pick up a little handheld Dremel. But that one I got from Harbor Freight. This one I got from Home Depot right here. Look at that. It's stainless steel. It's not stainless steel, sorry. It's galvanized steel. So it won't rust, you know. It's great for you to have a certain amount of hole. And then we can cut it and then we can fine tune it so it won't be too sharp. I think this will be perfect. And then what we could do, if we need to, we can replace this whole thing or even use it as a supporting frame. Let's see how, it's almost like a tape. You can get much as you want almost. Okay, and then we were thinking, oh, that looks kind of cool. Maybe, or maybe too fruity. What do you think? A little too, I don't want it to look like a princess crown or anything. Okay, so we can maybe move it up, drive it on. Maybe let this one go out. Maybe. We'll see. I kind of like the shine on this one itself, but I like the matted of the galvanized, you know, steel here. So we'll see. We'll probably use this right here because we definitely need to get a brace to hold it. Like again, it becomes dead weight even though it weighs nothing. It gets caught on something and you're backing out. You know, your whole cylinder head can just rip right there and it's just going to be, it'll be a pain in the butt. You'll be able to drive yourself home, but you'll be loud as hell. You know, even the Harley guys will probably put his earmuff on. Okay, so we're going to figure out what we're going to do. First of all, let's mount this sucker on there first. Let's put our NCY gaskets, let's mount it on there. Again, we're not going to put our fan shroud. Again, we're going like bikini style sort of, with just the basic components on there so we can actually tune it later. We can see everything out. If I had my way, I would probably take off the CVT cover too, but that's just a little too much exposure there. Not a big deal, but it's cool though. I love the NCY CVT kit. I wish I could show it off. You know, Anthony Myers got one with the Benjing Star. Good buddy of mine now that we kind of got to know each other. We've been texting back and forth, and he's going to be coming up with his video shortly. AM, not AM PM, okay, but it's just AMP, stands for his initial. So AP, yeah, Oh, AM, Anthony Myers. I'm not sure. I think maybe I made up the P part. I apologize. This is AM something. AM scooting. So here we go. We're gonna go ahead and put that exhaust on there now and hopefully quiet our scooter down. Yeah, I don't think we have any trouble starting it. Yeah, I can do it again for you. I'm not afraid. I think the battery's gonna charge up pretty well too. Again, when we get our digital meter one here, well, I'll show you on that one as well. It's gonna be bad. With that one, I use some kind of Dremel tool to actually make the hole size. Let's go and check out our voltage. Remember again, every time our engine actually cranks over, it helps the battery. It fully charges it or tries to charge it. So it won't be like in just depending on the battery alone. So when people keep on trying to crank it, just like what we did to the other Porsche battery, that was a brand new battery too. It just only had, what, less than a month of life after what we did to it, or even 2 weeks really. So here we go. Get off from sleep mode here. Wake up. Wake up, Jarvis. Here we go. So it's 13.23 volts. We didn't go below our threshold that we don't want, or like 29 point something volt. And if I crank this right now, we can see it from where it's at to where it's going to be. All right, let me go ahead and get the, where is the little alligator clippers? Is it in here maybe? Nope. Right in here with all my lights and stuff. Yeah, I can't wait to actually install that guy. Maybe not. Oh, that it is. Okay, let's test our alligator clips out. It's always fun unraveling this in front of the camera, right? So I'm going to try to do a little bit off the camera. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to actually test the battery voltage. Just going to get a clamp on somewhere. When it's cranked. Now again, you don't want your scooter to be starving of fuel. If it becomes too lean, it gets, what they say, lean is mean. It can hurt your scooter in the long run because your engine is like being deprived. You know what I mean? It's like slave work. But you don't want to be too rich either, right? You don't want to be full, fat, and lazy. And because then again, you're drowning yourself. So it has to be a balance, just like our bodies, I guess, or people. Here we go. Let me put the leads on here. Positive leads in place. I'll match the color so it'll be less confusing for us to actually probe and know which ones are ground. All right, so we're gonna crank the scooter at where it's at right now and see how it charges, okay? We're gonna see when it cranks how much voltage it takes to drop it. So you can see here all the setup. Okay, turn on my ignition. Yeah, we'll be able to put this guy back in there once we actually bleed our rear brakes. That's another thing we have to do too before we actually start driving. Turn on our kill switch, hold down our brake lever. Okay, hit the ignition start button. And it's 3:05 right now. You can see how I'm not even